Hey everybody, Ben for the Bonehead podcast, and we've got Blood Bowl news. It's very early in the morning, it's nearly 3 o'clock. I have got a presentation in 6 hours, so we are going to briefly touch on what was covered in the preview at Nova. Okay, so Warhammer community haven't actually uploaded the pictures yet. I took some screenshots as the reveal came out, and we are in fact getting a vampire team. Now, vampires have been rumoured to have been playtested against Amazons. I guess that was last year now, but the team is now here. Now, obviously, well, it's not obviously. As it came to the actual stream, they didn't share a lot of information at all. There's a couple of things that are very, very, very cool and very, very exciting. One, they've said there's new positionals, so we'll have a look at that in a second. And the second is the way Nick described it. He talked about the players still get hungry to bite the other player, like to bite the other players. He kind of said it was kind of different than it was before, so that I think means we may, like, that heavy rumor that Bloodlust might be coming back does seem potentially to be the case. Now, the team itself is very, I guess, what's the word I'm looking for? The vampires are very cool. They've gone heavily into the bat aesthetic. You can see you've got that kind of classic vampire, like the kind of 20s, 30s, black and white, prosthetic ears, prosthetic fangs kind of style to them. They've got very flamboyant shirts, and it's got a very kind of aristocratic feel to it. The thralls in particular all look like kind of extras from a Musketeers movie. Okay, you've got big, billowing arm sleeves and stuff like that, which is very cool. Anyway, don't worry about that. The team itself looks very cool. They've got a shot of the what I'm assuming is the box. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 players are probably going to be in this box, and within that we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 thralls, 2 vampire throwers, 2 vampire runners, and 2 vampire blitzers. So they've announced that they've got to have some positionals. Now, we've been waiting for this for a while. We weren't sure what they were going to do with the team, whether they were going to have a big guy, whether they were going to have positionals, whether they were going to have werewolves in them, which is one of the things I saw today on one of you guys suggested. But they've gone with positionals that we know of at the moment. So they've got a thrower, and I'm going to start with the thrower model here, because I actually really love this. Okay, like I said, they've gone for this kind of classic horror vibe restyle of the vampire team. You've got the high kind of collars, you've got that, like I said, they've got the collars, they've got the cloaks, they've got the billowing sleeves of your kind of like Renaissance gear, and it works brilliantly. The paint job's beautiful as well, because that guy just looks a purple suit away from being the Joker from Batman, which is very, very cool. Oh, you got the big corsage kind of tie things as well. So we've got vampire throwers. There's one there, and the fact that the other thrower looks different. I think that other thrower, the bat guy, yeah, look at the legs. Yeah, look at the legs there. So this guy over here with the bat wings is actually the thrower. So they've gone, this looks to be quite customizable. The positioning looks the same, but different shoulder armor, different positioning, so different head. Looks like that guy does have the ball in one side. So let's say you've got an alternative head and alternative arm there for the thrower positional as well. Then there is the runner positional, which looks to be the female. Now, Nick on the stream said that these guys were movement 8, which is interesting. So when you come to a runner, you want them to be movement 8. Got to assume that they're all going to be, you know, the kind of Edge 4 plus strength 4 vampires. Edge 2 plus strength 4 vampires. So if we're going to end up with strength 4 movement 8 runners, I will be very happy, because that is just an absolutely massive gutter runner at that point. So again, the runner models look like they've got different parts, whether it's just, in that case, looks like they've just got a different head,
But again, anytime you get a bit of customization, it's a massive boon. I think was it the Nurgle team that they started bringing in alternative heads and things like that for Blood Bowl, and it makes such a difference. You've only got like 12 guys on your team, or in this case 14, so actually being able to customize them is pretty good. And the last positional they mentioned is the Blitzer, which are these two lads here in the crouched combat position. I don't think on the stream they said what that means to be a Blitzer. I think they just kind of announced them to be Vampire Blitzers and Vampire Runners and Vampire Throwers. So, I mean, I don't know what that's going to be, but I mean, quite frankly, even if it's just a Vampire with block, that would be very, very, very good. So you got 6 Vampires in the box. Now, given that they're two positionals, I would personally be surprised if they have any more Vampires on that than that. Like, if you look at what they did with the Ogre team, there was 6 Ogres. They upgraded one of them to be a Punter, and they just made 0 to 5 the rest of them. So again, I don't know whether, I think this might just be an amazing box. If there's only 6 Vampires in this, and you get 8 Thralls, then this is a properly good value box. Right, now the interesting thing here is you've got these Thralls, and like I said, they've got this kind of billowing Renaissance thing. The proportions of them are a little bit peculiar. Their arms are quite long. I don't know if that's just because of the garb they're wearing, but again, you can see, right, we've got alternate heads on this one here. You've got this guy here with an alternate head, and he is, I thought he was carrying a bat. He's actually just got a bat clinging onto his arm. You've got alternate head there on that human dude, and alternate head there and there as well. Okay, so that is literally all that was announced at the stream. I don't think I mentioned the name. The name is the Drakfang Thirsters. So what do we really know about what's going to happen with vampires at this point? They alluded to the point they still eat their dudes. We don't know if that's just, I don't know. The problem with the Warcom streams is sometimes they don't know the source material very well, so they've got like little snippets to read. So quite frankly, what Nick was describing could just be animal savagery. I'd be surprised, but it could just be animal savagery. What they have done though is make the team very, very much more interesting by introduce positionals. Now, we don't know to the extent of that, but I mean, if the thrower literally is just a vampire with passing 2+, if the blitzer is just a vampire with block, and if the runner is just if the blitzer is just a vampire with block, and if the runner is just a vampire with movement 8, that's still more interesting. You still got players then that could potentially have actual development paths instead of this guy gets pro and then he probably gets block. If we've got the angle there where actually the runners have got different skill access, where the sad thing is you probably want to get block first or maybe even dodge or pro. It's not going to change much, but what we've seen with the other teams where they've kind of flexed the skill orders, it makes it more of a question, and that's really good. That's really one. We don't want a game state that's solved. We want a game state where you can try things. You can be like, I tried this. They did an excellent job with the Amazon team, and potentially with these tweaks for vampires, they could be onto a winner. The vampire models are very, very, very cool. I love the kind of half classic fantasy and then half just kind of like the half mutant vibe. Really, really, really cool. Great design. The thralls are a little bit wibbly wobbly. They just look elongated ever so slightly, but to be honest with you, that could just be the paint job. It could be the size of the models, and it could be because they're emaciated because they've been fed on by vampires. So again, more than willing to give that a pass. The vampires themselves look very cool. You can kind of, the thrower is obviously the thrower. That is just, I really do like the core vampire thrower here. You can give this to anybody. Like some of the some of the Blood Bowl teams, right? You can give it to a Warhammer fan, and they're like, it's Snotlings. That's really cool. You give this to anybody. You give this to a muggle who's never played Blood Bowl before, they're going to be like, vampires? This is a vampire? These are vampires? They're vampires playing fantasy football. And actually, that is kind of more akin to where Blood Bowl is, right? And you've got some gnarly-looking combat vampires there, which I'm assuming are going to be the Blitzers. You've got the fast-looking kind of classic runner one. Yeah, very, very, very cool. Right, we were waiting to find out what's going on with vampires. We don't know what they do. We don't know what skills they're going to have. We don't know what cost they're going to be. We don't know what else is coming on for the team. We haven't seen any star players for them. That is everything. So now we kind of get the point where we think about what this could mean from a date point of view. They're not going to be up for pre-order Saturday the 9th. I don't think that's likely to happen. The World Cup's next week, so this is going to be a fun thing for all of you people out there who are at the World Cup to talk about, and all of us who are not to also talk about. So I'd be surprised, because they'll want to put an article out kind of covering the team, and then they'll probably want to spoil a star player or something. Now, well, we can assume that Ivan is part of the vampire release, as we kind of talked about on the podcast the other week. So let's say next week they put some articles out, then Sunday the 10th they say, hey, this is up for sale on Saturday the 16th, which means it could drop the 23rd of September. That would be my guess. Although I wouldn't be surprised if they delayed it so that it actually came out on Halloween weekend. I think that'd be really, really, really cool. Anyway, it is vampires. It was rumored to be vampires. We've seen the core box, 14 players, and vampires got positionals. Was this worth me staying up till 3 a.m. for? Yeah. The team looks really cool. They've made them more interesting, and I'm genuinely excited to see where they go from here. And now we guess things. So put in the comments what you think is going to happen with the rest of the vampire team, whether there's more to come, what skills they're going to have, what this team's going to play out with, and if you're happy with the direction they're taking. I am. This is cool. They've taken vampires and they've added stuff. They've added some spice, and that's exactly what we wanted. Anyway, I'm going to go to bed because I have to be in Bracknell in 6 hours, and we'll be back soon with more Bubble content. Happy biting. Thanks very much for watching. We really appreciate your support. If you want to support the channel even further, please like and subscribe. It really does help us out. Or come join us on YouTube Members or in Patreon, where you can get exclusive access to some content, some loot, early access to basically everything we do, as well as regular competitions. Or you can pick up some Bonehead Podcast loot either on our website at boneheadpodcast.com. We've got the Dungeon Bowl things, we've got tokens and stuff like that, or on our Spreadshirt site as well. Everything you do just helps us make more content and hopefully do it of better quality. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Happy blocking.